Hey, what's up? It's Rashad hanging with the Joneses. Another roundtable discussion, man. Spoiler review, a more in-depth spoiler review of Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness. If you haven't seen it, where you been? Like, why you not out first weekend? That thing made like 450 mil worldwide. Like you, yeah, yeah. So that's really what this is. All right, so I'm gonna do this today. Try to be more organized in my mind. All right. So first, want to talk about overall thoughts. Second, we're going to get into um, what is your favorite. Third, what is your least favorite. And last, I'm going to ask a question of you all. All right? All right.
Works for me,
So,
man.
Tony, Tony Ba, overall thoughts.
I thought it was cool. I thought it was cool. I mean, when I was watching it, and I was telling you this the other day, when I was watching it, I was like, man, yo, this seems like a Sam Raimi movie. I was like, but I didn't know he directed it. When I first started watching it, I was like, there's something about this that seems like very reminiscent. Like even like the little montages where they would like have like the kind of superimposed figure on top of another kind of still, I was like, this is very emo 90s music video. You know what I'm saying? I was like, this is like, I was like, what, who's directing this? And I was like, oh, okay, it's gotta be Sam Raimi. And then at the end when I saw his name, I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that made a lot of sense. And so it was that's my thought about it. I think the overall it was a good one, man. Yeah, it was cool with me. I like the weirdness, the quirkiness. I like how it verged on horror at some points. It was like those scenes with Wanda with the blood all over her. I was like, this is like it's really unlike any other Marvel movie that I can really think of in the MCU. I'm trying to think of when it comes close to it. I really can't think of that. Like it really had its own thing going. It had its own kind of character. It had its own kind of personality and persona. I liked it. I dug it, man. Yeah. So that's my take on it.
Tonio.
Yeah, same thing, man. I dug it, man. I mean, it was. It, I didn't go into like I was excited to see it, but I didn't go into it expecting anything. There have been people that have said that they didn't like this movie, or else they felt that this movie was one of the worst Marvel movies. Yeah, and I was like, what? And their response is it's like, well, I don't know if it was a horror movie or a superhero movie. I tell them, I'm like, it's both. It was like, well, it can't be both. I said, wrong. I said, how many movies out there are action comedy, romantic comedies? You know, like you have action horror, comic horror. This movie was a superhero horror movie, for the most part. I dug it. I like everything. I like mostly everything about it. Um, you remember, man, after you and me, we both saw it, you saw it, like we saw like I believe like 30 minutes apart from each other. And when it was done, the first thing I remember, I waited for you to say something to me first because I saw it, and you were just like, yo, what did I just watch? And then I just told you, I have no idea. Like, I really did. I mean, Marvel jumped out the window with, what I'm saying, with this one. Yeah, I mean, it to me, it hit note, it hit what it needed to hit. And I'm interested now to see what exactly is going to happen next with Doctor Strange. And also, I guess, try to figure out where does this story fit in the grand scheme of the, what I'm saying, the new Marvel, what I'm saying, whoever the big bad of the Marvel universe is going to be for the collection for everybody to get back together. But
Definitely.
overall, I did like it.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll keep my thoughts short. I like the movie. It's I'm gonna say it's probably 10 times better than the OG Doctor Strange movie. Um, yeah, this came through and really did. Why is my camera not working? This really did what it was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? That's like That's what I can really say. So I think that I think Marvel is getting into a new normal, for them, and it really started. It started really like around, let's say, it started again around Black Panther, because early on it was letting, like, people come in who had specific styles match up with the movies. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, the dude, I said, Branna, so whoever directed the first Thor movie, he was Shakespearean, so it was very, does mother know if you wear your drapes? You know what I'm saying? And then you had, like, a lot of the other stuff, it was matching up, and then they got into a groove and hit with a formula. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like they're kind of breaking back away from that because they see, like, people need some more variety. So now, like, it's definitely getting into that, of course, like in Guardians and all of them, and now it's like, like, okay, I can expect a different type of movie, even though the core story is still gonna be comic book in nature. The style of movie is gonna vary between each movie.
Yeah.
All right, so what did you? Let's start with worst first. What didn't work for you, Tony?
I don't. That's actually a good question. What didn't work for me, I think, principally is just the cliche MacGuffin, the kind of like we got to get the thing to do the thing. You know, I'm kind of tired of that by now. But you know what? I'm willing to forgive that because I think that it worked. They worked it well. I think what got me the most was the fact that they had a character whose superpower is to be able to transverse, or rather to traverse the multiverse. Like her power is that she can teleport through the multiverse. It's just mad convenient. I was like, what? I was like, it was hilarious to me. I was like, so I kind of chuckled to myself when I was watching it. I was like, come on. I'm thinking before I watched the movie that they were going to be like, oh, maybe Wanda, because of the enormity of her power or something like that, some kind of cataclysmic event happened or something like that. And that's how we get into traversing the multiverse. But when you have an actual character and her power is that, I was like, that's so cheap. They being lazy as hell. I was like, this is lazy, man. But outside of that, I mean, I think that it was cool. You know what I'm saying? That's my main gripe with it. Again, I know some people, like Tony was saying, that some people had some difficulty with it. Some people had some hangups about it. They had some misgivings about the film. But for me, I like weird stuff like that. I think that the weird tone worked for me, man. It was like, but I'm into that stuff, so it really worked for me in that way. But that kind of that character, man, I was like, God, come on, man, y'all being lazy. Come on. But anyway, that's yeah.
That's funny. I guess what I didn't like. See, it's hard because I like the movie so much, but there's some things that irritated me, like if I felt some of the force puns that they tried to force puns and force one-liners were a little cringy in some, in some parts of the movie.
A little too on the nose.
Yeah, like a little too on the nose, or whatever. Like the whole Fantastic Four. Didn't you guys chart in the '60s? It's like, oh, okay, yeah. You're trying to make them the Beatles or something. Like I get, I get that, and it's and I guess you could say they're trying to keep that joke going, like multiverse joke going from Spider-Man. When it was like, don't you guys have the Avengers? It's like, no, is that a band? And, it was like, he said, oh, you're in a band type thing, and it's like.
And then from Endgame, you guys broke up. No, from Infinity
right,
War.
Yeah, right.
You guys broke up like the Beatles.
Like the Beatles, yeah. So it's kind of like stuff like that was kind of like a little cringy, a little bit. That was a little cringy. Also, too, I think I wish that they would have kind of explained a little bit more on why Wanda like really was just hell bent on finding, you know what I'm saying, finding a spot for her kids. Because it's like, yeah, I'm gonna find my kids, but you're trying to go to another universe where you're actually there with, you know what I'm saying, with your, you know what I'm saying, with your kids or whatever. Like I wish they kind of would have done something where it picked up after WandaVision, after how WandaVision, because at WandaVision seemed like she was like, hey, I got these powers, I'm just, see what this dark hole thing is about. And of course, she heard her kids' voices and stuff like that. But it seemed like at that point Wanda was back good, and all of a sudden she went back to I'm gonna go find my children, type thing. But other than that, I really didn't have a whole lot of things I really didn't like about it. And also too, yeah, her powers were kind of ridiculous. I'm not, the America Chavez, she did a great job playing that character, but punching a star to jump from multiverse to multiverse is kind of a convenient power. And then they was like, well, did you try to find try to find this universe version of you? And she was like, I'm the only one there is. Like, what? Like, I'm the only person. I'm me. I'm the only me there is in any universe. And I'm like, convenient, but
yeah, I actually like that part. The thing that the thing that I didn't like, and I'm like just like you, Tony, and you, Tony, bro. Like I like the movie a lot. The only thing I did not like was the fact that they played Baron Mordo. Like I hate that. Like I said before on my review, they're doing Mordo like they did Heimdall, and I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So essentially, you got strong black lead playing a side character who they essentially sideline. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like even Idris back in like 2011, whenever that movie came out, he was like, yo, like B plus, almost A-list actor. Mm-hmm. Chiwetel Ejiofor is an A-list actor. They brought that man on. He played a strong role in the first movie, which was to me the best part of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Playing the almost like anti-hero antagonist, so to speak. And then like he goes to the 838 universe and he's like, oh man, I don't even like you over here either for real. And I'm gonna be a little punk about it. Like I like that part was like, yo, we need to get 616. I'll play this. If in Doctor Strange 3, seeing how he goes to the dark dimension, if they don't get 616 Mordo to come through and wreck shop and take everybody's powers, I'm gonna be pissed. Because he's still on Earth in 616, just siphoning everybody's magical abilities, and he better be back to trifle with your boy. Like I'm just like that part of it for me was like super missing. But I understand why, but I still didn't like it.
Yeah, it was pretty funny too because it was like, because even Strange when he tells 838 Mordo like I got one of you in my universe. It's almost like it was almost like a throwaway line, because it's like Rashad just said, like, what about all the chaos he was wreaking? Like 616 Mordo was like he was like that. You know what I mean? Like in the comics, he's the number one antagonist for Strange, and so it's like to kind of have him, take a back seat was kind of fascinating how they did that. I mean, it's like okay, because I mean, to be honest, I think that Ejiofor. I think he had some good lines. He had some good dialogue, some good lines, some good moments. I laughed to myself when I saw like, because what happens to him? Like he doesn't. The rest of the Illuminati get wrecked, right?
He falls in that little.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
That
it's
little
like
pit thing or whatever.
So he's so powerful, but he's not able to get out that little trench. Like it's hilarious. Like you just like leave him there. Oh, no more of him now. We're done with him. We're done. It's kind of funny. And this is a guy who's honored by the Queen. He's a part of the Royal Society in England. Ejiofor. This is he's on the same level as Sir Patrick Stewart. You know what I'm saying? Like this is a very serious actor, right? and it's like he's like just kind of put on the back burner. It's like crap.
And then get your man some raggedy braids too. Just hop it off. You know what I'm saying? Just differentiate himself. It was like, yo, oh, how we gonna make black people different? Put some braids on that Negro.
Yeah,
Like fam,
yeah.
like that. They yo, that was
They put the Tyler Perry wig on.
Yeah, I'm about to say that they went to
it
the
was
Tyler
just
Perry
like,
school of braid
yeah.
wigs.
bro, like they put that Shamar Moore wig on that boy, yo. Like, come on,
Yeah.
man. Like they ain't had to do him like that. Like, yes, that was the only thing that would piss me off. All right, let's venture back to the positive. What worked most for you, Tonio?
Oh man, what worked most for me? The explanation of the multiverse as far as the dream part, like where how they were like, you know, you ever have that dream where somebody's chasing you? It's like, no, that really did happen. That really just happened, but it happened in another universe. That's just, you know what I'm saying, this universe version of you tuning in with that universe version of what's going on. Just like when Juan was like, I always have a dream of me like running naked, I'm getting chased. It was like, she was like, yeah, somewhere there's a universe where that's you know what I'm saying, that's happening to you. Also, what worked for me was, God, when they brought John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, like it was great because for me, I think this is like the first time since probably Patrick Stewart that fans got who they wanted to play that character. Because everybody wanted Patrick Stewart to be Professor X since we was little kids or whatever. And then probably within the last 5-6 years or so, a lot of people have wanted John Krasinski to play Mr. Fantastic. And the fact they were able to give us that fan service for that and introduce the Fantastic Four into, you know, saying the MCU, even though it was another universe and not the direct MCU universe, which is the 616. Also, how they have correlated that in the comic books, the main universe is the 616, and basically they're saying that, you know, because I think they tried to, because I think if I'm not mistaken, Feige has said MCU was like universe 19999 or something like that.
And that was a whole joke.
Yeah, right. That was just a whole joke. But they just went on ahead and made the universe the 616 as the prime, you know, as the prime universe. So that really worked for me with that.
Two asides. First, the dream thing is actually like a real theory. It's called like many worlds interpretation.
Yeah.
And the thing with Feige is really interesting too on a meta level, because you know he has creative control over Marvel. Period. You know what I'm saying?
Not just the MCU.
Marvel.
Okay.
He has created when they redid his contract.
Okay.
He was able to get creative control over the entire Marvel brand. So him making what used to be the regular comic book universe, MCU universe, is like a very meta thing. Like, yeah, like MCU is essentially going to be the prime universe now, not the comics.
Yeah, but yeah, man, like you said, when I've heard that too, and like how they said that you know, researchers and stuff and scientists, whatever, believe that whole, you know, many worlds interpretations of your dreams and stuff. I mean, if that's the case, then that's dope. I love to meet another version of me, see how I turned out.
I do not, yo. I do not. The recurring James that I have, I did not want to. I would hate to be him in his world. It's crazy. What you got, Tony?
Well, I was just thinking about how I like the furtherance of the themes that we've kind of been seeing in different Marvel properties, you know, which you and I were talking about yesterday, and I was just talking about how it's very platonic, it's very Socratic, you know, what they're doing, the idea of how everybody's so powerful, you know, everybody has power. And I think Tonio mentioned earlier just how, you know, seemingly overpowered Wanda was. But I think that for me, at first I didn't like that. And I thought about it and I was like, you know, I think it works because power doesn't matter anymore. You know, it's like the Dragon Ball Z effect. You know, it's like when Dragon Ball Z starts off, power levels matter, right? Goku is not as strong as Raditz when he comes to Earth, in the Vegeta saga, and he has to charge up his energies to fight him, and then Piccolo shoots the Super Beam Cannon through him. It's like that. It's a whole thing, right? But by the time we get to Dragon Ball Super, it's like it doesn't matter anymore. Like, who cares about at the end of Dragon Ball Z? Well, certainly at the end of the Frieza saga, we know that Goku's power level was about 15 million in his Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan form, and he defeats Frieza, whose power level is about 12 million, and so forth and so on. But by the time we get to Dragon Ball Super, we're fighting actual gods, Beerus, and all this stuff like that. Like power levels don't matter. So it's like it's the point now where everybody has that power. Everybody has power, and so it becomes kind of like the dialogue between Thrasymachus and Socrates in Book One of the Republic, where it's like power is how you are able to gain and garner and secure justice, because justice should only advantage the powerful. That's what Thrasymachus' argument is. And Socrates counters that, and he says that, that it really is about justice should not just benefit the powerful, but it should benefit the weak as well. And he says that it's like a doctor who is in a position of power over his patient, who is the weaker in that scenario. The doctor doesn't cure the patient just to make money like a sophist would, but he cures the patient because he wants to make the patient better. And that's how justice should work. It should benefit those who are not in powerful positions. And so I think that that's kind of what we're seeing in Marvel. It's quite Socratic in that way. It's like, because even you think about, Spider-Man, Spider-Man out here, he actually trying to help the villains. He's trying to actually make them better. He's not just trying to defeat his villains, right? Even at the end, he has that moral quandary where he's like, oh, snap. Like, do I kill the Green Goblin, Willem Dafoe, whatever? No, I gotta figure out that this is not the best way to go, right? I don't want to lower myself in that way, even though he's unjust. The just man has no enemies, because the just man does not want to impute violence to even the unjust, but justice should actually not be rectificatory, but to make even the unjust better. And even if you look at Moon Knight, right? Mark doesn't kill Harold. He says to Khonshu, like, you do your own dirty work, you do it. Even though at the end, we know what happens at the end. Another personality comes out, but he himself, Mark, he doesn't do that. And so even if you look at Doctor Strange, Wanda at the end, she has this moment where she's like, this moment of clarity where she's like, I can't. What have I become? What am I doing? I can't go on this way and do this. So I kind of have to, even though I'm powerful, that doesn't give me the right to enact or to exact the kind of justice that that would actually be harmful, and in that way be injustice. And so I have to kind of look inwardly and be introspective and, make that sacrifice and, the whole thing that happens with that. And so I thought that was fascinating. I think we're kind of changing in that way, because that whole scene where she destroys the Illuminati, these very powerful people, like, Professor X is up there and she kills Black Bolt, who's one of my favorite characters. Like, just kills, like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, how the hell, how do you kill Black Bolt? Like, it's just like, I was like, man, this is like, like Neo in the Matrix. Like, what if you don't have a mouth? I was like, oh my God. And so I just think I think it shows the arbitrariness of power. I think it's gonna matter less going forward, I think thematically in Marvel. And I think it's going to be more about what kind of moral choices do even the most powerful among us make when it comes to matters of justice, and I think it's going to be fascinating to see, how they do that. If I'm right about this, I think I am. I mean, I think there's enough evidence to kind of show that it's evidentiary, but
yeah, that's
it reminded me almost like
you on a tangent right now.
Oh yeah, but no, I mean, but no. You don't want to hear that old BS that everybody keeps saying.
No, that's right. Though. We just got like 7 minutes.
But what I'm saying is that it also reminded me of that. It's like that first episode of Invincible, man. Like, Joe watch Invincible?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but that's how. But it
Go,
reminded me of
Tony,
that too,
go.
like because it really it kind of usurps the kind of upends, it kind of unhouses the kind of normative expression that you would think from a kind of superhero film. And it's like power will not save you. Like, what do you do if you're so powerful? You still have to make moral decisions. Like, what kind of person are you going to be? I think that's kind of what the focus is now. That's what it seems to me. Anyway,
All right. So
I'm done. Yeah.
and amen. What works for me really quickly is to be honest, the pace in the movie. The pace really worked for me.
Yeah.
Like the only part that was like really we had to sit down and think about some stuff was when they had to explain Strange and America to each other when they went to 838. And that was it. Other than that, popping. Last question, 6 minutes left. Because for some reason, Zoom is making me want to upgrade today. Never has done that ever in life. They're whack. Anyway, what did Doctor Strange learn in this movie? What did Strange learn?
I think he learned that there isn't always one way. There isn't always just one way. And I think he also learned that, sometimes you can't fix everything as well. Because that's always been his thing. That was his hubris was his biggest problem he's had. And that goes back to the first movie and everything, when they pulled when Christine pulled him to help her, with that guy that had the bullet lodged in his head, and the one doctor was like, oh, he's dead, and he's like, no, he's not, and like he just basically was like, he always felt that he was the smartest person in the room and he knew everything, but throughout the movie you saw that he really gradually is still trying to figure out this whole multiverse thing, and like his first thing he asks is Wanda, what do you know about the multiverse? And she explains to him what Viz told him, what her theories are, and he was like, oh, and then he had to find out more stuff from America, from her travels and everything like that. So I think he learned more than anything that his hubris, he has to check his hubris at the door in some things and learn how to move on with his life.
Bah, what you got? What did he learn?
I mean, I think Tony is right. I mean, I think it's like even the line they kept repeating. You always have to be the one to hold the knife. Was that how it went?
Yeah,
you always have to be the one to hold the knife.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. I think it's kind of like that. It's yeah, but I don't know. I'm a little more suspicious if he actually learned that lesson or not, because he's still at the end, he's still so self-pitying, and it's like, he's not the ancient one, or what is it? What do you call him? The Sorcerer Supreme. He's I don't know. I just feel like I think his hubris is still there. I just don't imagine it's gone. You know what I'm saying? I think it's still there. I think he still can be self-seeking and self-important, and wallowing in self-pity. I think that's a kind of sign that he's still going to be the same old Strange, but at least episodically, I think that there was some kind of resolution.
For me, Strange didn't learn a damn thing. Because as you were alluding to, I thought you were going to say it. I was like, man, he just took my whole point. But nah, but like when he gets to the end of the movie, right? And as he's wrapping up, he still uses he uses the damn books. You know what I'm saying? What's the name of the book again? Oh yeah, the Darkhold. Still uses the Darkhold. You know what I'm saying? To actually use a corpse of himself. You know what I'm saying? Which was like so grotesque. They were like, yo, like how are you even knowing? Like, why would you do this? You know what I'm saying? And then what happens? So there's still darkness inside of him. Now he got the daggone evil eye on him. And now at the mid-credit scene, he essentially what? Learns to live with the evil. And so cavalierly goes into the dark dimension. You know why? Because now he has darkness inside of him too. So he understands what this whole thing is about. Strange did not learn anything. Tony, he's still that guy. He's still cocky. even how he saw the random person, Clea, who I didn't know who it was in the theater, saw
Yeah, I know.
Clea
Yeah.
and was like, "Yeah, I'm about this life," and it walks in. I said, "Come on, man." I said, "Strange ain't learn a damn thing, man."
Yeah, he did hop right in, ain't asked no questions or anything. She was just like, "Hey," he
I'm
was
about
like,
that life. Let's go.
"Let's go."
Like, man, get out of here. But yo, that's all time we got today. Shout out to Zoom for being some jerks, because usually we was talk for like 50, 60, 80 minutes. But yeah, this was a good chat though, and this also made us actually get to the point. So until Thor: Love and Thunder. Cannot wait, yo. Can't wait for that. And we'll probably reconvene, to be honest, for after Obi-Wan and talk about Obi-Wan too, because we all love Star Wars. But yeah, that's all I got. We got of course at Toni Franchise everywhere. Our channel at TM Bar 80, 880.
Oh no, just TR Bar.
TR Bar at
BAUGH.
TR Bar. Yeah. So the next time, man.
Yeah, man.
Let me stop this.
Stay black. Stay black.
If you are black.
If you are
know
black.
if you're not black,
stay
say
black.
whoever you are too.
Yeah.